Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. Well, what a very productive day it's been today. I'll tell you all about the news when everybody gets in. Some very exciting news today, and it's all good. It's all good as we can see. The portfolio dropped down this morning, and I didn't sell, didn't buy anything, and it's now making its way back up again. It's no surprise there, really. We had the reaction this morning, overreaction. People took profits, people sold. Now they've set new levels. I'm absolutely fine to hold that. It's all good for me. All right, so if it's your first time here, click subscribe and ring the bell and give us a thumbs up. That would be absolutely great. Let's go into the live show and see where we are. Let me refresh that screen just a moment. First of all, you can see how we're starting to come back up again. Virgin Galactic is one of those that's showing most support, which is absolutely great. We're 43% up now. Some good, strong support there. Palantir went down. It didn't go low enough for me, I'm afraid. 17.25 just isn't cheap enough. Gold down but going up. The S&P doing well again today. But again, we need to remind ourselves, if we look, say, over the 3 months, S&P is up 3%, which is great. However, if we take a closer look at my portfolio and we go over 3 months, actually up 6%. So we've doubled what the S&P is. So it's not still right not to be in the S&P at the moment. There's far better opportunity out there. Amazon is great, don't get me wrong, but it's overbought, overpriced, and I want to buy it. And it's frustrating seeing it keep going up. But again, it's only up 4% over the last 3 months. I'm up 6%. So you just got to wait for the right time. Eventually, we'll get an earnings. It'll get dumped and it'll come up again. That's just how it goes. You just got to have patience. Right, Apple, same thing. Keeps going up, but it'll come back down again. Next year, energy, improving. End phase, sold off. A lot of you gave up on it, and it's coming back up again. There's no reason to sell this. It's undervalued. Coca-Cola, the pin of my portfolio, still now 7.5%. Each day it just creates new support, goes higher and higher. I'm now in the money with J&J. I've just earned $190 on dividends. So technically, I could sell all of this. I've made money, even though I'm flat on it. I could clear $24,000, literally wipe out my entire, half of my margin in seconds. No loss at all. I've made money on it. I can still buy it back at this point. I could do that, but I'm not going to. Kenvue, it's going up again. This has been very successful for me. This is the domestic side of J&J. Chevron. Dropped away today, but I would have only bought it at 140, so I'm not buying it yet or selling it. Tesla, that's up overall, but I'm down slightly today. I can live with that. Rivian, I sold it at 19, didn't like it, it's too expensive. Got a quick pump on it, and now I'm out of it. McDonald's is great, I'm up 6%. This is a nice big part of my portfolio. This is nearly 4% of my portfolio. Very strong, looking good, continue going up, good dividends, all good. Google, it's getting cheaper. It's getting cheaper, slowly coming down. We had that little rally. It sold off. The 78% of the director, one of the directors sold his position. There's been more inside selling. Over the last 3 months, Google was down 3.6, whereas I'm up 28% over the overall position over that period of time. But year to date, it's doing all right, but it's very overbought. Microsoft is even worse. Walmart, we're okay. We bought the bottom of that. Tesco, Tilray, rubbish. Robinhood, it's given up a bit, but I'm up 34%. Not worried about that. IonQ, Rocket Lab, we know why it sold off today because of the delays. But again, wasn't really enough to buy more. Plug Power, down, straight back up again. It's all good today. I said this morning that my portfolio would be down up to 5%, and it went down. How low did it go? I actually said it was good. It would go down 5%, and it went down. It went down nearly 4. So there we go, just inside where I said. And I said it would come back up, but I also said it won't be a green day for me today, or what we are building in for tomorrow. So, of course, the Fed report tomorrow, and we'll be there live for it. So tomorrow is the Fed report. So, of course, you want to join me for the Fed tomorrow. Let me refresh this page, and I'll bring it to you, give you the link to it directly tomorrow. Here is the agenda for tomorrow. We've got, in the morning, regular show, the opening bell, and then we've got the report from the Fed. That will go straight into our closing bell. We always just do this. They just go straight into it, and there's no point doing it separate. But it will be an extended show from the Fed. But there we go. Tomorrow is our Fed report. So if you want to make sure you click and join that, just go on the upcoming live streams, and you'll be there with us tomorrow. All right? Okay. Don't want to miss that one. It's very important. I just realized there I've missed one of my videos. How did I miss that? There you go. If there's not a red line underneath, you've missed one of your videos. So I'm just going to let that run. Always like to make sure I watch it myself, make sure it runs through okay. Hi, Zach. Good morning to you. Stephen Lewandowski. Hi, everyone, said Mike. Sea Lovers here. Mike, we all knew you wouldn't sell. Yeah, we all knew you wouldn't sell. Where did figs go? Figs went lower, got as low as 671. It's now 690. We've been talking about it today, thinking should we buy it or not, and I'm gonna forget about it for a while. Okay, Ismail Barber, thank you for your subscription. Welcome as a guest to the show. Right, now then. Let me clear away some of these comments. Got too many comments here for some reason. There we go. Get rid of that. So we're all looking good. We exactly as we expected. Wall Street did its thing and whatever. But I would like to get the S&P, but I'm not going to buy it here. Waiting for a pullback. And if it comes, it comes. It doesn't, it doesn't. Any info on Coinbase? What do you mean? What's the question? What do you mean, any info on Coinbase? What do you want to know? Our crypto challenge is going very, very well. This is our Sensei Crypto challenge. Put $1,000 in, and as you can see, we've actually got 608. 608. Hang on, where's that gone? So we've actually got $608 in cash. So we've done really well when you look at our portfolio. We put $1,000 in and we're 2231. How cool is that? And when all we did was put in $400. It's pretty good, isn't it? Sensei's done an amazing job. If you're not part of the crypto challenge, I think you're missing out there. It's proving to be extremely successful. Anyway, we're getting a bit of movement here on the S&P, so we need to have a quick look at what's going on here. Something's moving quickly. Let's have a look. It must be one of my positions, because look, the S&P is going up. I'm Amazon, Apple. What have I got that's on the S&P? Of course, Coca-Cola and J&J are my two big pieces there. Hence, I didn't think my portfolio was going to turn green today, but actually, it might. It might. Didn't expect that, but it's rising very quickly. This is very, very bullish. McDonald's, yeah, getting some really good rises here on my portfolio. Yeah, Walmart, we're just about to go. Yeah, we're getting quite a bounce now. Look, if you look here, we could end up in the green, which would be great. I'm glad I didn't sell. I'm glad I didn't buy any more. Didn't go low enough, didn't go high enough. It just did its thing. Yeah, that's I was down 4%. We've gained 2% in the last half an hour or so. and it's gaining speed at the moment, which is pretty good. Okay, now then, want to update you to all the members. How many members have we got in? If you didn't see my earlier videos today, I did put out a few videos that you might find of interest that you may have missed. I'm going to let that run just a moment. Put out about our gold and AI, talking to Jeffrey. I interviewed him yesterday from the stock exchange. I'm actually going to be buying the gold mine before it goes public. That's being set up right now. And you will be able to do the same. So if you want to buy the gold mine before it pre-IPOs, then it will pre-IPO and then it will go public. Let me know and I'll put you in touch with Jeffrey, and you can do your own thing. But or I'll put a video out and give you a link to it. But anyway, if you want to do that, you can. I'm buying it. Hey Martin the Pot Man, when's SoFi on the review list? SoFi, where is SoFi? We've got to do some reviews this afternoon. SoFi. I don't think SoFi is on the list. Don't think SoFi. Grippy, I don't think SoFi is on the list. You can add it to the list if you want to. We are more than 30 here. Let's smash the button for Martin. Hey, Sea Lover, thank you very much. Yes, we're on just 13 likes at the moment. So anyway, I'm going to share some information with you. This morning, I was having I had a phone conversation with a gentleman at the New York Stock Exchange who is putting me now in touch with all the CEOs for the New York Stock Exchange. And other people are doing the same thing. People are tired of the unpersonal approach of Bloomberg and all these things. People want a more real experience, which is why I built this channel. And we're going to be extending the Meet the CEO. I want Elon Musk. I want Richard Branson and all of the CEOs from the New York Stock Exchange to have an interview with me. So we're very excited about doing that. So that's moving forward today, and I'm being introduced now to all of the CEOs from the New York Stock Exchange. Very, very exciting. This is the place to be. This is the place where we're going to interview the CEO. So it's going to be more personal and more real than Bloomberg or Mad Money or any of those things. So, that's all happening. So very excited about that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do some more reviews. I think we need to get through some of these. Tomorrow morning, we're prepared for the FOMC report, right? You're all prepared for that? You all know what's happening tomorrow morning. I hope anyway. I hope you all are. But now it's time to do some reviews. So let's start. Jonas. Let's bring it up. Here we go. Our next review, EGRX. Eagle Pharmaceuticals. All right, there we go. We have that. Let's also line it up here. EGRX, Eagle Pharmaceuticals, and over here as well, EGRX. Okay. We've lined that up. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum. Is it a dividend paying stock? EGRX. It's not a dividend paying stock, but it's been around since 2007. So we can set it up with our back test. So here we go. We'll do a back test on it. We're going to try and get through. I'm going to try and do 4 reviews. Gold digger. Too much work for me. I'm 64. Hey, Stephen, you don't have to buy. You don't have to dig the gold. You just invest in the company. They do all that for you. They got men with sticks and like that. They got pickaxes. Don't you worry about that, mate. You just have to sit back and count your money. Don't you worry about that. Too hard work for me. I'm not digging for gold. I don't think you actually have to do it. Oh, man. EGRX. Right. Let's have a look at this one. Okay. Eagle Pharmaceuticals. Always a very risky play. Stuff like this. If it finds a cure for cancer or anything like that. But all good. But in between, very expensive trials. It can be very expensive. There you go. There's the company. And we want the news. I will go to here. We're just preparing our next review. Oh, very little news. Nobody's talking about it. So I will rank for this straight away. That's a fact. Right. No. Rubbish. That's no good. Okay. That doesn't look like a very good, reliable source either. Let's see. So many of these websites require you to sign in, and I don't like doing it. Not if it's not necessary. That one looks better. All right. This could be interesting. Okay, this is for Jonas Van Harver. Let me see. So far not on the list. I asked for it on the 29th of like. Let me just check. I may have missed it. Grippy. Let me just check. I've got a big list. I might have missed it. Let me have a look. Seth, Dominic, CRISPR, Exxon, REC, FDS, Rallo, Hall of Fame. Oh, I've done that one. Take that off the list. ASML. Grippy, SoFi. I beg your pardon. It's halfway down the list. Grippy, I apologize. It's halfway down the list. So I just such a big list. I can't see it, but yes, it is there. So you'll be pleased. That's all good. Don't worry about that. We're all good. We're all good. Okay, we're all set for another review. So here we go. Let me take this to the top. Is R3A here today? Is R3A? R3A. I did R3A's review. He's not here. Okay. Here we go. Put that to the top. And 20 mins. Okay. Here we go. Our next review. Time for another stock review. This time we're talking about Eagle Pharmaceuticals. In this review, you're going to see some very important alarming news that might scare you off the stock, potentially, perhaps. You're also going to see the full balance sheet, insider trading, who's buying it, who's selling it, the balance sheet in great detail, the margins. I'm going to give you a profitability score, a solvency score. We're also going to look at the website of the company. We're also going to look at some trending news, see what's going on. We're also going to back test it against the S&P. So a lot's going to come up in this video. I do review every stock as requested by the members, and we're adding more all the time. And it's part of Meet the CEO series as well, where I'm inviting the CEOs of the company to meet with me. I'm now doing a whole series of Meet the CEO, so there'll be follow-ups to all of these reviews as well. So let's get straight into it. My reviews are the most honest, reliable online. We are a TV show, not a YouTube channel. Even though we're on YouTube, I'm not selling videos. I'm not trying to get you to click on the videos at all. I'm building a live audience. It's why I'm live to 10 hours a day. I'm the world piano man. I'm an entertainer, but I'm also an investor. And I invite people to phone into my show, be on my show. So these reviews are using the most advanced algorithmic software. So it's really unbiased. It's not done by an analyst who's got their own agenda, or they're not paid to do it, or sponsored by someone. We're bringing you the best real news so you can make the most informed choice whether you should buy, hold, or sell a stock. And that way, you'll be like me, consistently beating the market, consistently beating Warren Buffett, and making money. I've never bought an options trade. I've never shorted a stock, and I'm doing all right. So let's have a look at this company. So we're going to start basic, and then it'll get more and more advanced as we go down the list. And I will like to tell you that we are making this during a live show. So anybody who wants to ask a question or talk about the stock can do a super chat during the live stream, and their comment will come up during the live stream, and you'll actually see it on the screen. So that may happen during the show. So just beware, mindful that could actually happen. All right, let's go into it. First of all, we want to start nice and basic, and then we'll get more and more in depth as we go down through the review. So here we go. First thing we're going to say is what is Eagles Pharmaceuticals? Now, straight off the bat, obviously, as it is a pharmaceutical company, it is extremely risky. There's no doubt about that. A stock like this is extremely risky. Any pharmaceutical stock is risky. I don't like them very much because one false report or one trial going wrong, and it can make all the difference to the company being successful or failure. A bit of bad news, and we're in major trouble. So first of all, let's look at the basic line chart. We'll go into much more detail shortly. We can see how it's very, very volatile. These are normally the occasions when something's going well in a trial or whatever, and then it fails, and then information comes out or whatever. It's a very, very volatile type of business to be in if you are buying this stock. Now, we're not quite a penny stock. Penny stock is anything under $5. We're not there yet, but we're very, very close. Now then, let me just zoom in a little bit more and read out what the company is, and then I'll go into much more detail later. Eagle Pharmaceuticals is a biotechnology pharmaceutical company which focuses on developing and commercializing injectable products, primarily into the metabolic, critical care, and oncology areas in the United States. Its products include Ryan-Odex, Bendeca, and Belrapzo. There you go. I apologize for the pronunciation. We'll just click show more, just get a bit more. The company was founded by Scott L. Tariff on January the 2nd, 2007, and its headquarters in New Jersey, and we know it's EGRX. So 2007, you can see there, New Jersey, 135 employees, quite a small company. We have, if you are buying it with margin, you can see the maintenance is 100%. When you buy on margin, the maintenance requirement, it gives you an idea of the risk of the stock. The higher the maintenance, the more volatile and risky the stock is, and more likely you are going to get a margin call on this particular stock. The lowest is 25%. So straight off the bat, you know it's a risky stock. But with risk comes great reward. That's how it works. 69 million. So it's quite a small company. It's bigger than me, but it's a small company. High today is 552. The 52-week high is 34. So we can see it's very volatile. It's had a huge drop recently. Price to earnings ratio, 5.98. Now that sounds cheap. That's the ratio between the price you're paying and the earnings ratio. As the share price comes down, they compare between the price and the earnings of the share, what the share earns you. 5.98 sounds cheap when you might compare it to Tesla at 60 or 70 or many, many more, a lot higher. But what you've got to do is compare it to other pharmaceutical companies in the same sector that are likely to do the same business, and compare if this one is likely to succeed in its mission, but is undervalued. But we'll look at the intrinsic value in much more detail in a moment. There's no dividend here on the stock. It's just a growth company. We're not talking about dividends at all. Talking about growth, hitting an S curve. Not to say that a growth company can't become a dividend stock, but right now it is a growth stock and it does not have a dividend attached to it. Low today is 525, 52-week low is low 25. So we are at a 52-week low. That's often regarded as a potential buy-in. It's a 52-week low, but that doesn't mean to say it is a buy just because it's low. Anyway, the average volume on this stock is 402,000, and today it's 101. Even though the stock is down, it's very low volume. Now, what that means is if it hasn't got much volume, you might not be able to sell the stock at the price that you want because no one's buying. There's not much volume. There's not much liquidity. Not a lot going on. So it can be a situation where you just can't get out. The stock could drop and no one's buying. There's no buyers coming in. Remember, it's always important to note, just because you want to sell at a price, well, it has to be that somebody is prepared to buy at that price. If they're not prepared to buy at your sell price, you're stuck with it. And the stock can go down and no one's buying. So just remember that. When you've got a very low volume stock, just because you want to get out doesn't mean you'll be able to get out. All right, maybe no one's selling. Anyway, as we can see, we'll look at the earnings right now, and this is done by Wall Street. Now remember, Wall Street are rubbish at this. They are not long-term investors. They are traders, in today, gone tomorrow. And most of it's done now on computer and algo trading. Anyway, they're looking for signals in the markets to just get in and out. It's how it works. There's not someone sitting there on every single booth, as we learned yesterday from the New York Stock Exchange itself. We were live there yesterday, weren't we? So we can see that when a analysis is done, an earnings expectation, it's done by Wall Street. It's not done by the company, and they try to basically best guess where the stock's going. Is it going to beat earnings or miss earnings? And you can see on this stock they are pretty good at it. Typically, Wall Street are rubbish at analyzing, especially future stocks like Tesla, things that have got a lot of things to come out that haven't yet happened. They can't really imagine into the future. Whereas with this one, it's much more identifiable. We know what they're doing. We know what their results are, and we can see everything really quite clearly. So they're pretty accurate here, and they've been going sideways, and this is typical of apart from an initial position here on Q1 22. Since then, we've been going down and then going sideways. This can be quite typical because until we get results of a positive a test or whatever, a development, a breakthrough, or a cure for cancer, or something like that, one of the trials has major success, the stock can go sideways for the longest time, and then all of a sudden we get a break. So it's very, very difficult to time a market like this. You need to really know what the company are all about, and but stick around the long time, for the long term, and see where it goes. But you really need to understand the stock. Don't just buy a pharmaceutical company because it's down. You need to understand what it's doing and is it likely to succeed. Many fail. Anyway, it's a very difficult business. Let's now look and see who else is buying this stock. I like to show this because this will tell me the sentiment of the stock, the sort of people that are buying the stock. Obviously, Pfizer makes sense, another pharmaceutical company. Some old school stuff here. That's encouraging to a certain degree. The reason why I say that is we don't want scammy stocks in here, too much volatility from gamblers. We want to, because that will take, that can take the direction of the stock all over the place. So we don't want to look at that. We want to see good companies. Now, Pfizer is good. Ford, well, I'm not really a Ford investor at all. Ford doesn't make any money. And I don't think it'll be around forever either. I think legacy car companies are going to struggle against Tesla. I don't think they can make their EVs competitive. So Ford, it's the sort of person that buys this, wants to buy old school stock, which is fine. But Walmart is good, and a few of these are very, very big names, but they're not all great stocks, not really. Walmart is a good stock. I'm in Walmart. I've got that, but the rest, it's good to see though that there's nothing here like Mullen, a scammy stock, something that isn't real, littering up the emotion of a stock and driving it all over the place. So that's encouraging. Anyway, let's go and look now at the website itself. Then we'll look at some news, and then we'll go into the real heavy numbers and look at what's really, really important. So first of all, let's look at the website itself. Learn more about the company, because you have to do some research here. Find out what's new at Eagle, pursuing science to help patients. Let me just scroll down and have a little look. So what's it all about? It says here, we discover, develop, and market medicines that matter to patients, healthcare providers, and health systems. We put science to work to serve a greater cause, helping patients and improving healthcare in the process. See why we do it. Okay, see why we do it. Our vision. Just get an idea of this. At Eagle, we are committed to developing innovative drugs that result in meaningful improvements in patients' lives. We will develop and commercialize our drugs with honor and integrity while acting in a socially responsible manner. Okay, very, very important. We've all heard of the horror stories of the past. Let's look at their values here. Get an idea of the flavor of the company. Every person is entitled to dignity and respect. We will value the skills, work ethic, and creative for all employees. Innovations, I have just a couple of headlines here before we go on to the news. We are a company committed to continuous learning and will endeavor to remain on the cutting edge of innovation. Our patients deserve nothing less. Fair enough. There's the company. Just gives you a flavor of what they're all about: life-saving medicines. Okay, now then, there has been some negative news recently. We'll come on to how this has perhaps affected the stock very shortly. But first of all, we'll just read the headlines. EGRX class action notice. The law offices of Frank R. Cruz files securities fraud lawsuit against Eagle Pharmaceuticals. Now you have to remember that any big companies in and out of court all the time. There's always some litigation going on with big publicly traded companies. More, however, in the pharmaceutical business is always part of the day-to-day running of the business. We're dealing with an industry that is fraught with legal action. It's not always necessarily a bad thing. It creates some headlines, and a lot of media like to report on all kinds of issues because it sells their media, their paper, or whatever it might be. And it might not necessarily be a bad thing for the company, but it does drag it through the mud or put a cloud over it. We all know what's been happening with J&J recently. The stock is down, and it's an issue that they are more than on top of. But anyway, it's worth noting it though. The law offices of Frank Cruz announces that it has filed a class action lawsuit in the United States District Court for the District of New Jersey, captioned Miller versus Eagle Pharmaceuticals, on behalf of persons and entities that purchased or otherwise acquired Eagle Pharmaceuticals securities between August the 8th and November the 28th. Inclusive, plaintiff pursues, blah, 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 blah. Let's go down here. Investors are hereby notified that they have until 60 days from this notice to move to court to serve as a lead plaintiff in this action. If you're a shareholder who suffered a loss, click here to participate. So on November the 9th, 2023, just a couple of weeks ago, before the market opened, Eagle Pharmaceuticals announced that it would not release its third quarter 23 results that day, as had been expected, because the company requires more time to review potential adjustments relating to the report of sales of Pemfexy prior to filing its Form 10Q. The company also disclosed it expects to revise its previously disclosed 2023 full-year guidance downward. On this news, the company's stock price fell $4.16 or 30.4% to close at $9.54 per share on November the 9th, or on unusually heavy trading volume. Okay, so you can see why it dropped. And this is very important. Why did they do this? Well, it might not necessarily be a bad thing. It might be an opportunity to buy the stock cheap because they simply wanted to get to the bottom of what I've just explained, want more time, and they're allowed to do that. But of course, people then can take action because they're expecting the earnings report. A publicly traded company has rules to follow set out by the SEC. So it could be a bad thing, or it could be an overreaction to they just genuinely want to, get their house in order before they present their figures. Who knows? Anyway, after the market closed on November the 9th, 2023, the company also disclosed that it was reviewing potential adjustments to reserves for returns and price adjustments of approximately 15 million to 20 million. These amounts relate to returns and price adjustments of Pemfexy stemming from slower than anticipated pull-through from a wholesale consumer, predominantly due to expiry of inventory. On this news, the company's stock price fell 27 cents or 2.8% to close at $9.27 per share on November the 10th, 2023, on unusually heavy trading days. All right, there's more and more. We can hear all of this. So you get the idea. Some potential bad news here, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad news at all. But it did get the attention, and now it's got a lawsuit to deal with. Okay, let's now look at the financials and see a bit more about the company from a numbers standpoint. All right. Let's go into that now. So here we go. Let me go over to our most advanced algorithmic software that we use. Now, you can get a copy of this so you can review all the stocks for yourself and more information that I can provide than I can provide in these videos. All my members get a lifetime discount to this service, and it'll basically make my membership for free. Or you can have a trial for a while and then upgrade, whatever you like. But my members get a better deal than Bloomberg users, CNBC users, you name it, Mad Money, whatever. And all my reviews make their way on this website. This is real information, not biased, not pro one way or another. And I don't get paid to make reviews at all. But they all appear on here because they like my reviews because they are honest and fair. So let's have a look at it. Right now, we've got some valuations here, and I'll also give you some value warnings if we are not entirely happy with these figures. Best case scenario, it's undervalued by 89%. Now, we have to understand intrinsic values are done by bringing the balance sheet, the profit, the loss, the margins, and future expectations into place. And a company like this can massively go up in value, as in a stock price, if a trial goes its way or something breaks. The stock can move extremely quickly, more than most stocks. The potential for upside and downside of a pharmaceutical company is huge. Anyway, best case scenario, undervalued, 89%. Base case, the best case is 90%. The base case is 89%, and the worst case 84%. Now that sounds great, but there could be a valuation trap. We need to be clear. There could be a valuation trap. Let me see if there is one. There isn't one. Now, what a valuation trap is when we run it through our software, it can say, because there's some numbers missing or some important data, it can look like the stock is undervalued, but in fact it's not. And there is no warning here. So potentially this bad news that has come, or this delay in reporting the stock, the financials, has perhaps presented a great opportunity to buy. But we cannot make a decision based upon the valuations alone, intrinsic values alone. So this is a very good time to buy. Now, I've explained this before, and I'm going to do it again. It's not always the best time to buy a stock when it's the cheapest. Sounds obvious, doesn't it? I'll buy it when it's the lowest price. That kind of makes sense. But perhaps it's cheap because there's no good reason to buy the stock. Whereas perhaps here it was just about to break the greatest discovery in medical science. Even though it was more expensive, perhaps it had a greater potential. So we've had some good valuation around here. $42. We're at $5 today. So from an intrinsic valuation, a historic valuation, today is most certainly a good valuation. However, let's look into the financials, the balance sheet. We've done a review a poll on our stock on our show, and over 80% of people don't read the balance sheets. That's why I provide this service, so you know and get an informed decision before you buy a stock. So we're looking at the revenue. The revenue recently, in 2021, you can see it moving up, and 22 to December 30th, then down, and then our most recent is in June 29th, because we've not had the report yet. We are looking at 258. So we have dropped off, but we're still way above where we were in 2020. Now, analysts don't seem to be that too sure. They're not expecting revenue to increase greatly. In fact, it's expected to fall away. That's not good. Operating income has improved by 29%. That's good. That's good over recent times. But again, we do see this very roller coaster type effect with this company. And that's what can happen with a pharmaceutical company. It can be spending heavily on research, and then something happens and it earns some money. It can be like a roller coaster ride. Net income, 12.1 million. Free cash flow, negative 9.4 million. Capital expenditure, it was spending a lot of money back in 2016. That's virtually gone away now. We don't seem to be spending as much now as we used to spend. Does that mean they haven't got the money to do it, or We don't need to spend any money. Well, we'll carry on and find out. The balance sheet. This is important. This is the health of the business, if you like. 405 million in assets, 153 million in liabilities. So it's on the right side of the balance sheet. So far, looking pretty good. If you don't mind a volatile ride and you are relatively keyed up on whether they're going to come out of this lawsuit or not. Anyway, 405 million assets, 153 million in liabilities. But what we don't want to see is huge amount of debt. Long-term debt, 61 million. Nearly half of their liabilities is long-term debt. We don't like that because rates, as we know, are going to be held up for a long time. They will come down. In fact, 40% of their liabilities is debt. Now, that's not good. If 40% of your liabilities are capital expenditure, reinvesting into the company or something like that, then that's okay. But if it's money you've already spent, it's now debt. It's not doing anything. This money is just costing you money. It's not doing anything. You've spent it already. You know, you are where you are, and now you've got to pay this back. This money is just sitting there costing you money. It's a noose around your neck. 40% of your liabilities is debt. However, they are on the right side. They've got more assets than liabilities. But of course, if your debt gets too big, you've got to reduce your balance sheet and you've got to correct that. Anyway, so other than the debt, we were okay up to that point. Efficiency of the company. Now, the company, around about the 70, 76, 75% profit, gross margin, that is. We were on the last quarter, March 23, March 30th, we were 68. We're now 70 again. So we're moving in the right direction again, but it's pretty much around the same place. And you can see all the other figures there. All right. Net margins, operating margin, FCF, ROCE, so on and so forth. Right. Move on now to the fundamental scores. Now, this is where we give you a profitability score. So a company that's doing a lot of investigative work, spending money, even though we've seen it's reducing its capital expenditure, its profits are going to be reduced until it has some great big discovery or something like that. Profitability is good. It's amber. It's not bright green. It's not a tech company where profits are huge, but it also isn't red either. It's making some profits. Negative free cash flow is not good, though. We talked about that earlier. That's what's keeping it down. Negative cash flow. Average Altman score, amber, not red. So their solvency score is 56. So even though they have debt, they are not going bankrupt anytime soon. All right. They're not going bankrupt anytime soon. They're looking okay when it comes to debt. They do want to reduce that. We've seen a lot worse. We've seen better. Anywhere around this area is okay. That's perfectly normal. A lot of good businesses have debt around that score and still very good businesses. Now, what do Wall Street say to this? They're not giving a high forecast, which is unusual. And not giving a low forecast either. I don't think I've seen that before. That's unusual. But they are giving an average of 212%. So this is kind of typical for this kind of stock. If things go well and they achieve some of their goals, then this stock can go up 200% from where it is today. It's down heavily on the news. It is a potential for me so far. Looking at the balance sheet, looking at the debt, overall, it's not a buy from me because I've got J&J, which covers this sector. I don't need to buy this. However, you're not going to get a growth on J&J of 200% if they have a breakthrough drug or something like that, where here you can. And it has been beaten up. Balance sheet isn't too bad, but what it all comes down to is whether you believe that the recent bad news is going to drive the stock to zero or it's just a discount right now. That's for you to decide. Now, earlier I talked about the margins. You need to go and compare then to the competitive landscape. I will give you the link to all of these companies you can go and look at and compare their margins, what they're doing, and you can make a more informed decision about whether it's right for you. I'll give you the link in a minute. Inside trading. Now then, you'll see this software appear on other media, but they don't have as much detail as I have here. They will do some headline stuff, but they won't actually go into the details. Ours is the most advanced. The last transaction of inside transactions was November the 2nd, just over a month ago, by the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer, who sold $148,000 worth of EGRX. All right? That was done in the last month. So we need to understand when someone at the company sells a stock, is that negative? Not always. We need to know how much they are selling in percentage terms to their allocation. It's perfectly normal for people to trim off their positions. I wouldn't have thought that was that excessive. However, need to do deeper research, and we can't go into any more detail on this video. But there has been some selling from the CEO recently. Did I say financial officer? I meant a chief executive officer. The CEO himself has sold some stock. I beg your pardon if I said CFO. It is CEO. Apologize for that. But anyway, that does show some negativity, or it depends what their allocation is and how much of it they've sold. So anyway, we need to do more research on that. Let's see about the short interest. Now, this is interesting because the stock is down, and yet it only has, I say only, 7 is still, considerable. It's not excessive. Over 20 is excessive. Above there, you can start getting short squeezes. So there's no short squeeze coming anytime soon. However, there is some short interest. But that's quite good, though. That level of interest, that level of shorting on a stock that's had such a bad bit of press recently and the stock price plunge, might have expected to see the shorting higher, thinking that the stock's going to go even lower, but there's not. So there is some short interest, but not excessive. To give you an example, a really, really strong company that never goes down. For example, someone like Apple, for example, is less than 1%. Whereas GameStop, when GameStop squeezed, it was 100%. I'm talking about Virgin Galactic squeezing just above 20%. But it needs volume to add to that. This is only 7. So that's not so bad. Not that many people believe that this stock is going to go lower. That could be a good sign from a stock, or it's already gone so low. We're not adding any more short positions. I don't know. Anyway, there is no news or because at this point I like to show you some news or reviews from other people. There isn't any. This is a very small company. No one's talking about it. That can be good or bad. I'm the first to really cover it, I think, from a review. No one's analyzed it from a point of view of a mainstream TV channel. They've not covered it. There is no sentiment information about the direction of the stock. It is very limited what we're going to know here. So anyway, there is the information for you. Let me go back to our closing screen and give you my closing thoughts. Oh, just before I do that, I nearly forgot. One of the most important things is a back test, just briefly, against the S&P. Now, we can only go back to 2015. I'm going to put $2,000 into the S&P. Sorry, $10,000 into S&P in 2015 and $10,000 into Eagle Pharmaceuticals, and you'll see that my 10 has turned into 26 on the S&P in blue, but Eagle Pharmaceuticals is now down to 3.7. So I've lost quite a bit of money there, as you can see, just over 60%. So we need to look at that. Now then, what's important here is you can see how much more stable the S&P is, whereas Eagle Pharmaceuticals, up and down. It's a trader's paradise, if you like, or a nightmare, depending on how you look at it. So anyway, let me give you my final thoughts on this one. I've also just been given some information here by the person that asked me to do this review, Jonas Van Harver. It was his review that I'm doing now, so I'm glad you're here, Jonas. This will go out later for you. The CEO retired so might explain the sell. It might explain the sell. Indeed, it might. Just because he's retired doesn't mean, it could be. We've said this before. If you've got all the money in the world and you don't want the stress and the drama and the hassle and you want to live on an island, why not sell your shares? It doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing for the company. I hope I've been fair with that. But Jonas, thank you for that. I can't verify that information, but that has come in from the person who requested this review, so I would imagine it's reliable. But thank you, Jonas, for that information. So my thoughts on this is, it's a pharmaceutical stock which has some litigation surrounding it at the moment. I've explained that. We've already covered that. That has presented potentially an opportunity to buy at the stock at a discount. No question about that. If we just look at over the year to date, it would certainly suggest possibly. The solvency looks good. They're not going to go bankrupt anytime soon. Their profitability is pretty good. Is the stock oversold? It's undervalued, no question about that. Purely looking at the intrinsic value, there isn't that much news around the stock to give it any positive impetus to drive it up. No one's discovering it. It's a very small stock. No major TV channel has covered a review on it, otherwise it would be here. No major news breaking to give us an idea of the sentiment. So this could be a risky play, but a potential opportunity to buy it at this price. Or if you think litigation's going to go wrong and the reason why they didn't report on time has other meaning, and perhaps they will lose a lawsuit and maybe it'll all come out it's a bad thing. I don't know. You need to do more research on that. But anyway, that's my review. For me, it's not a buy. It's a very risky position. Potentially, it's an opportunity. The balance sheet was okay. The solvency is okay. The profitability is okay. The inside trading may not be anything bad, like we just heard. Could be just simply the gentleman has retired, or lady, I don't know, has retired. So could be that. But anyway, there you go. It's not a buy from me. It's a continue to research from me. And I will invite, if you are watching and you'd like to appear on my show, I have a series of Meet the CEO. I speak to CEOs from all major companies now, from the New York Stock Exchange, all around the world. Please reach out to me and apply to be on my show, and I would love to talk to you and find out more about your company. Click above my head for all the links, my X account, if you want if you want to get the software that I use, Alpha Spread, and below in the description you'll find the links. Check that out. All my members get a lifetime discount, and over here I'll put the whole series to my reviews. You can see all the stocks I review and other information, and if I do meet the CEO, I'll post it over here as well, and you might like to follow up on that. As always, until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. All right, there we go. Latest review, and we're just coming up to the bell. Jonas, your review will go out later on as its own video. It'll be available tomorrow after the opening bell. Oh, no, it won't. Oh, it might do. I'll check. Yes, it will go out after the opening bell tomorrow morning. Yes, so you can watch that. Right, here we go. A minute to go. As we said, no surprise, the portfolio sold off. I said I would be red today. I said it would bounce back, and it has. I said I wouldn't be green, and I'm not. So I was right. Jonas, you're very, very welcome for the review. Look for that coming out tomorrow. I will edit it tonight, and it will come out tomorrow. Here we go. Let's count down. Let's get the bell ready. Portfolio's looking fine. Persian Galactic's looking fine. Perfectly okay. The S&P's going up. Amazon, Apple, all of this. All looking really good. Yeah, oh, look at my Coca-Cola. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The bell is gone. You can sponsor the Sensei bell by putting $20 super chat. have your name on the bell. All right, there we go. Let's see where we are now. We are moving up in the after hours. Perfectly good. Didn't sell anything, didn't buy anything. Just sat it all out. Let everyone play their silly bugger games. In or out, can't make the bloody mind up. Anyway, I'm not interested in that. So next year energy got oversold. Came straight back up. End phase energy got sold. Coming straight back up. Back up to that 100 soon. Coca-Cola is continually doing well for me. We're now nearly 8%. Look at that. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Thrilled to bits. J&J just about to turn green. Looking very strong indeed. Now then, tomorrow we've got some videos coming up here for you. Some events tomorrow. Let me just share them with you. First of all, let me zoom in here. Why isn't that zooming in? There we go. There we go. Tomorrow morning is the opening bell, as always. You can catch me there. And then we go into the Fed. Now, what I'd like to do is premiere Jonas Van Harver's video just after the opening bell in the morning. So I'll do another review tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, we are looking at Patrick Moritz TUI. We'll do that tomorrow. And then we will premiere Jonas's review, and then we will go into the Fed report in the afternoon, which will be our closing bell as well. We'll go straight through. Does that make sense? If you've missed any of the videos today, scroll down. There's been a few videos today. We had Virgin Galactic inflation warning, gold and AI. I am buying the gold mine from our guest yesterday. Going to be buying that. Inflation. CPI, we talked about this morning's figures, and getting ready for the FOMC report. And if you've not yet seen our interview with Jeff about the gold mine, which you're able to buy pre-IPO, pre-IPO, who would like to do that? If you would, let me know, and I'll put you in touch with Jeff. So right now, it's a private company before it goes public, before it pre-IPOs. A lot of people like to buy a pre-IPO price. Well, you can buy a pre-IPO, as it's a private company before it registers with the New York Stock Exchange. That's where I'm going to buy it. So very, very exciting stuff to buy a gold mine from day one. Really, day one. Very exciting. Anyway, let's have a read of the comments here. Thank you for the review, said Jonas. You're very, very, very welcome indeed. Very, very quiet show this afternoon. Just 40 watching, 21 likes. If you've just come on in, do smash the like button, subscribe, ring the bell. It does help the channel enormously. Tap the like button. There you go. I don't know if you've done it. We're moving up slightly in the after hours, which is nice. And there we go. Now we're going to get off. You need to prepare yourself for the morning. So you do need to scroll onto the homepage. And if you've not got a red line under a video, you've not watched it. You do want to look at the Fed report, my thoughts, and any of these videos if you fancy them. Have a little look there. But for now, that's it from me. We'll do another review in the morning. Have we got any questions? Let me make sure that we've covered everything with everybody. Let's go and close that down. Let's jump in and thank our LinkedIn audience and all our guests. We're just a bit slow there. Let me just refresh that again. There we go. Let me thank my LinkedIn audience. Now making connections here at the with the CEOs. This is where they want to talk to me. So there we go. That's the LinkedIn. Let me pop in and say hello to our Kicksters. Thank you. Hi all. Oops, a daisy. There we go. Hi all to you. Excellent. Let me just jump into Facebook and X and pop in and say hello. Thank you very much for liking and sharing the streams. Let's see how many reposts we got on today's Oh, there we go. Just 2. We had 4 this morning. I told you that was an exceptional number, a repost. Let's make sure we've answered all the questions. Mike has reposted. Thank you, Mike. Any questions, any comments to answer? No, I think we're all up to date. Good. I think we got a few more followers I wanted to welcome as well today. Another 3 or 4 today, I think. Let me just scroll down and see if I can find. There we go. Crypto James. Hello, Crypto James. Welcome to you. You've just joined me on X. Thank you very much indeed. Who else have we got? There's a couple today, I think. Let's have a look. We won't keep strolling. No, that'll do. It's gone down too far now. All right. Anything on X, on stock twits to cover? No, we're all good there. Let's nip into Discord. We did have Dawn Potterus. Dawn Potterus was popping in here earlier. I do have some pictures to share with you, though. Let me share some pictures with you. Look, we've got Lance Strength. Lance Strength, look. Here he is with his grandson. He's very proud. Look, there's Lance Strength. So Lance Strength, you're on the telly with your grandson. I said hello to the little fella. And look at Lance. Look at Seth Houston. Seth Houston has got his Virgin Galactic mug. There you go. And look at that. I need to grab that picture, by the way. Save image as. That's Seth. I need to grab that. Seth, whoops. Seth.jpg. I'll have, whoops a daisy. .jpg. I shall save that. Thank you. Yep, as a JPEG. Yeah, I want that. Very good. Looks good, man. And he's got rid of his beard as well. Brilliant. I love it. There you go. Looks good, man, says Mike. Yeah. I have got all these pictures, haven't I? Let me make sure I have. There's been a few recently. I want to make sure, just quickly, in case anyone sent me in. Stephen Lewandowski, look, there's another one. I think I've got all these, but I just want to make sure that I do. Save image as Stephen. .jpg. Okay. That one, yeah. That one. Oh, replace. No, let's call it something else. Stephen 1. All right. Any more? Let me make sure I've got everybody's, because we're going to do some really cool stuff soon. I like that one. Jason Fallon, Australia. There's Seth. I've already got Seth, so I'm going to use the mug one. I'm sure I've got these. I just want to make sure, Jason, just in case. Save image as Jason. Whoops, daisy. Jason. .jpg. There you go. Any more that have come in recently? Stephen, I've got Stevens. Jojo S, West Ham. I love it. Just making sure. Any more? Stephen, we got one. Oh, there's oh yeah, now I know I've got this one, haven't I? I'm sure we're going back a long way now, but I'm gonna just do it anyway. Save as Zach. Zach.jpg. Okay, we've got a new Rogues Gallery coming up soon. There you go. Yes, because there's Wade. I know I've got Wade because I've already added him in. So now I know I'm up to date now. Brilliant. Okay, we've got everything there. Excellent. Want to make sure. That's it from me. I think we're done this afternoon. It's quite a quiet afternoon. It's funny. It's always quieter on red days. People prefer the green days, which is the absolute wrong way round. I always prefer the green days. the red days, because the green days, you don't do anything. The red days, you go to work. So there you go. Right, that's it from me. Let's do day trader of the day. Let's see who's up and down. I am down today, 2.37, exactly where I said it was going to be. I said I could be as low as 5, and I went down to 4. So it's exactly what I thought. Down 2.37. Remember, I'm down more because I use margin. So it doubles it down and doubles it up. It's kind of the same thing. All right. Let's put the clock on the screen. Let's see who wins today. Let's see where it pans out. Down, not sure, just a lot. Fair enough. James, I love the honesty, mate. I don't know. I love it. I like that. Anybody else? I've got to go. 10 seconds. That's it. Time's up. You're too late. Down at Matthew Kelly, down 2.08. So looks like I'm going to give it to Matthew Kelly. Is it Matthew Kelly? Yeah. Down 2.08. Very quiet afternoon today. That's all right. No worries at all. But thank you very much indeed, Matthew, for your score. Do appreciate that. Excellent stuff. That's it from me. I'm going to get out of here, put this video together for Jonas. Jonas, when you see it, it'll be out later on tonight. You'll see it on the homepage, and then tomorrow it'll premiere just after the opening bell, and everybody will watch and join in, and that'll be great. All right, that's it from me. Let's roll the credits. I don't think we've got any credits, have we? It's been a very quiet afternoon. Shoo-doo-be-doo, be-doo-be-doo-woo. Shoo-doo-be-doo-doo-doo-be-doo-woo. Here we go. Stars of it. I bet this is going to be rubbish. Subscribers. Ismail Barber saved the day. It could have been a disaster, that, but that's worked out quite good. Ismail Barber subscribed to my channel. Thank God for that. Otherwise, it would have been a rubbish credits, wouldn't it? Mike says, see ya. See ya, everybody. Yep, we're all preparing for the FOMC report. There's no surprise there. It's perfectly normal, perfectly acceptable. Thank you, Martin. James 007. Thank you, mate. You're all very, very welcome. That's it. So tomorrow is the FOMC report, and that's a very, very important day, of course. See what Jerome Powell says, but I think we all now know there's not going to be a rate cut. No surprise there. We knew that anyway. There's not going to be, or there might not be, a rate hike, but you can vote on a rate hike or a cut or a pause. I've got a poll running here. If you haven't yet voted on it, copy link. Here it is. There's the link. Look, I'll give it to you on the screen. It's on my X account. 11 votes so far. What do we expect today? Pivot? No one expects that. 9% of you. 1 vote. Pause? 72%, and a hike 18.2. A bit high on the rate hikes, but there we go. Anyway, make sure you go and vote on that. That's it from me. Love you too, Delve. Thanks for being here. Until next time, as always, see you back in the morning. It's FOMC day. Take care of yourselves, your money, your crypto, and each other. Bye-bye.